This is the first episode of Executive Drive. We are going to be doing this on a regular basis. We want to be able to talk to people from the top, from the heads, the executives, the decision makers of the car industry, both the car companies, the organizations that envelop them, and all the other people who are making decisions for the industry. We'd like to be able to come out with their side, come out with their perspectives, come out with their visions and their outlooks for this car industry. Remember, the car industry, though very, very low key, is one of the biggest contributors to the GDP, the gross domestic product, also for employment. Not very many people talk about this, not very many people mention this, but it is. And we'd like to be able to talk to the people who does this, the heads, the brains, the executives, the movers. Today, we're talking to one of the guys. I've known this person for quite some time, and I've admired his passion simply because most people would rather go for the big guns. I mean, I know a lot of executives. I want this big company. I want this big product. This guy, he just goes, nah, I'm gonna get this company. I'm gonna make it big. And if it's not big, I'm gonna make it good. We're talking to Steven Tan. Steven, good morning.
Thanks, Ira.
Yeah.
Thanks for a great introduction. Yeah, when I first started talking about this, I said, let's talk about the brand, let's talk about company, let's not talk about me. But he said, let's talk a little bit about you. So I'm okay to do that.
Yeah. But before we go anywhere, I just like to ask that question. Mm-hmm. You came from a company, from a huge one. It started out from, and when I met you, you were with the Ford Group. Yeah. And that was a big, big company. Right. And then you just broke off, and you decided to go with Mazda. I mean, Mazda is not small, but really, compared to the Philippine market, it's not that big of a thing. Although it is very interesting. Why did you just decide to just stick it out with Mazda?
In Korea, I've been in automotive for a long time now, right? I didn't start in automotive, by the way. Right? I started in a bank. I started my entire career at the age of 25, kind of a late starter in a bank. Mm-hmm. So I've been through banking for a couple of years as a corporate banker, corporate finance. And then I joined a large advertising company, US-based, J. Walter Thompson, for a couple of years. And then the opportunity came and I found that I kept gravitating toward automotive. So the day came and Ford Motor called and said, we restructure in Malaysia. I'm Malaysian, by the way. And would you like to join us? I jumped at it. And eventually I landed in Bangkok. And that's where it became quite exciting. So Malaysia was exciting. Mm-hmm. I was born into automotive in a depth of the global financial crisis.
Oh my, yeah.
Right, that's kind of how it started. 2008, car company.
The tough times.
I would say I've just lost my job, but no. So there's something to be said about people talk about that being born into a tough situation where you learn really fast. Yeah, so it's true. You either you learn to swim or you don't, or you drown. But I survived that. Been in a Ford Motor Company for 15 years before Mazda came and said, would you like to assume the business in the Philippines?
Yeah.
I work in a lot of places. Mm-hmm. I worked sometime in China. I spent time in the US. In Thailand, I was there for a long time. I was in Thailand for 10 years. And then when the time came, I said, well, I was an international employee for Ford Motor. And there's a bunch of us. We are like the people who said, go here, go there, go fix the problem, go do this. And so I landed here for 2 years and extended for 1 more year and then went back to Bangkok.
Yeah.
And that's when Mazda called and says, would you want to go back in and take over the business? And I said, yeah, I really want to do that now. So you mentioned something about Mazda in my work in Ford Motor. Mazda was always been part of that. Yes. In Thailand, Mazda is part of Ford. And several places like South Africa, Taiwan, the same thing, same here. But they broke up.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They broke up. And so we choose sites. I chose Mazda, and I've been here ever since then. I would say Philippines has been a place where my family, we brought up the kids, and Philippines and be like the largest part of our life. If I were to say it, working in Malaysia, Thailand, Philippines now is like the longest I've
It's
ever
the longest
been.
you've been.
This is the longest I've been. And if you said, okay, how long is it going to be? I don't know. No. Right? I don't know. You're just limited by mortality.
But yeah, yeah. And how long have you been with Mazda? Since
Officially, since we started operating as a company in 2013, that would make us 13 years now.
yeah,
Right now, 13
and
years.
before that, if you had the one before that,
Before that, in Thailand, I would say 2004, and it's always been like the same kind of a thing. We're in the same building, and my boss he runs ASEAN. He says, Steve, why don't you go to Master Sales Thailand and say, why don't you go help them out in the marketing or PR or brand strategy or the product. That's kind of my background.
Yeah.
Product planning, brand strategy, marketing, and then I picked up sales along the way, which I love very much, and dealer operation and dealer relationship. So that kind of make up your skill set.
skill set.
In how company. So that equipped me to one day come in and says, okay, I'll start it from there. In fact, we start from the day when I was employee number one, and I came in the month of August or July 2012.
Yeah.
And just started from there again, just building the company, and we came up and started business in 2013.
I'm sure you've gotten offers from much bigger car companies, much more aggressive, much more. Well, can I say? Willing to spend so much more for you to move over. And but why Mazda?
I like to say that, but the reality is that when I was in Ford Motor, I was really dedicated to the business, and I really like the brand. I like Ford Motor. I like the culture, and people will start to think that if Steve were to bleed, the blood will be blue. And then when I moved over to Mazda, people got kind of surprised. Say, really, you're going there? And some of my colleagues were like, really, you're going there? I say, yeah, I am passionate about automotive, and I like the Mazda story.
Yeah.
And I would say I love the Mazda story. I love the Ford story. I love the Mazda story. So yes, over the years, if somebody were to come and say, would you be interested in this? I usually say, I'll be polite and say, no, I don't. I'm not in it for the job. I'm in it for the love of the thing.
For the passion.
Yeah, but that it sustained me and my family and people. And today we're not a big company. We are maybe 56, 57 headcount in Mazda. Yeah. That's small.
That's small.
That is small.
Considering that you just chose this, and considering that it's your passion, so you started to build Mazda from something that Ford used to think as an afterthought. I mean, I have to be honest. Mazda was an afterthought for Ford at that time. So from an afterthought, you took over it and built it step by step until it is what it is today. Yeah. And I'm looking at a few things like the Mazda clubs, the Miata clubs, the race series that you've been running, and it's grown so big, so expansive and progressive. And how did you get to this point? What took you? What kind of passion? What steps? What management tricks, techniques did you use to get to this point from that small start?
Things about this brand and this Mazda story, I would call it the Mazda, for intended purposes, let me be a bit romantic about this. I call it the Mazda love story. Right? The Mazda love story is about that. It's about that community of people who comes into the brand and fall in love with it and started to, gather together and says, let's share this brand. And as the organization and the business who can support that, and that from the start was how the brand love story is about that. We started with a lot of community, right? In 2013, 14, We have the Mazda 2 community, we have the Mazda 6 community, we have the CX-5 community. Over time, that's probably not sustainable, right? They're probably not sustainable. So we still have those community, but they're largely surrounded with like Mazda Club PH, and there was a Mazda Tech who was was formed like a long time ago, and they are still around. They're still there, and we meet once in a while. There's BT50, but nonetheless, the Mazda Love Story is about a brand that is about community, like some other brands are like community. Do I not want it to become a bigger brand? Yeah, of course, as a business person, I do want that. But there are certain priorities or calling of a brand that is more about, what does a brand stands for? Mazda comes from Hiroshima. So if you are interested in the Hiroshima story, the Hiroshima story is about Mazda and the A-bomb. Now, they were not talking about their story until a few years ago, where they actually came out to talk about that. What does the A-bomb means to Mazda and Hiroshima? It's about a company that is resilient, that does not lie down, and with a wake that gets up. Like 2 months later, after the A-bomb, the founder said, "Okay, we got to help the country, we got to help the city. Let's get back to work," right? And that spirit lives today about, they said, defy convention, never give up. And that defines the brand. That defines us too, in here.
Yes.
And I live with the alignment that says we can make cars, we can build cars that are better than others. We don't try to tell ourselves we are the premium brand. That we don't try to tell, we don't preach or talk about that we are a brand that's not us. So this is like, the Mazda brand is very real. And it's about people, community. And so behind me, you can see something called the Mazda Fan Fest. And the Fan Fest is a manifestation of that love story.
I was just about to go there now.
Yeah.
So we now know it's a love story. It's something. It's a relationship between the man and the machine.
And the people around.
And the people around.
Yeah.
Right. So you built the Fan Fest. It's right there.
Yeah.
And this is something I'm very, very curious about, because when it started, especially the Miyata Cup, you were a bunch of riffraff, a bunch of misfits, about 5 or 6 of you guys. Just
I'm sure you don't think about misfit, but yeah, okay, let's stay with that story.
but you guys were just a small group of people who want to do something. So you hopped onto your Miatas, rented the whole track, and just ran around and gave prizes to the first guy who finished the lap and all that. And it was all, I remember, because I was there the first time, it was all just for the fun of it. It was all just, hey, come on guys, let's go race. And it's turned into a fan festa.
Yeah.
Yeah, and how did it go from a bunch of, let's call it that, from a bunch of misfits running around in the track to a really, I can say low-key, but very popular fan festa?
When I arrived at the scene, I would say the year was 2010 when I first getting involved with an organization called the Miyata Club Philippines. They were already a club that was happening, and they're very well organized. They meet every second Sunday of the month, rain or shine, they will meet. And I got involved in that, and I find that this is kind of a tribe, for one of better words, right? Like-minded people getting together to drive the car, talk about it, and they would do that in Manila Polo Club. The venue has changed now, and there will be no more than maybe 15. A big gathering was maybe 25 people, right?
Yeah.
Last week was 115.
My God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? And that has become regularly like every meeting is the 80, 90, 100, depending on occasion. How did that happen? Number one, the number of MX-5 or Miata population grew. When we launched the MND, we call it in 2015, eventually now it's become like the most successful sports car, not only around the world, but by all definition, it's the most successful sports car in the Philippines. So, Ira, your question was, it started with The Miata Cup. The Miata Cup is the longest running race series one make in a country, like by far.
By far, yeah.
By far. They will be running the 25th season
This year.
this year, and in February we'll be here with the group to like formally launch the 25th season.
Yeah.
They are over the years they have like different rule changes, and now it's become like the grid. When I arrived, if the grid was 10 cars, that was a lot. Today a typical grid is 25 cars.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Of all forms. And it is true to itself a sports car group that exists to drive. As it should be, right?
As it should be.
It did not exist to let's go in the parking lot and show off our cars. It was like let's get together in the parking lot and drive. Mm-hmm. Like yesterday, we met and we drive. And they're always driving. And Miata Club, the sports car, is meant to be driven.
I mean, I was looking at that. I was looking at some of the other one-make races. There's quite a few, except,
Yeah.
and we have one of the biggest, of course. We know what that is.
Yeah.
But there are quite other few.
Yeah.
And the thing that I noticed the most is that with the other one-make races, there is too much fanfare. Mm-hmm. So much of the media hype, so much of the cameras, so much of the glitz. The last fan fest I went to with Mazda, it was just the cars, the engines, the roaring of the machines, the smell of oil and gasoline, the smoke around, the drivers getting ready to hop on and just get out there on the track. They didn't care about. Nobody was posing for cameras. Nobody was like, hey, take my picture. Hey, look at me. Everybody was like, come on, let's get on the track. Let's get out of here. Was it done on purpose, or is the community really like that? They just drive. Let's just drive.
The idea evolves over time. When the Miata Cup started, like way back, I wasn't around. I wasn't here. The company wasn't here, but they were already running. We came in. They says, okay, let's try to encourage it, like make it more accessible, right? Funding is always an issue.
Yeah.
If you have 10 cars trying to go to the track, it's never going to be sustainable.
Yeah.
Right? But we have the means to help them out. And so we started by sponsoring the track where they run. So Miata Cup will be part of the race for the Sunday or for the Saturday as one of the races. But you'll be running it together with other clubs and other races, like Time Attack and stuff. And then one day we decided that, okay, maybe the way to do it will be that we will now pick up the entire track and make it a fan fest.
Yeah.
Right? And that idea kind of, as soon as we did that, we knew just from a feedback of the other Mazda people that said, this is what we love, this is what we want. We said, okay. Let's do it. And we started with one fan fest for the year. It became 2 fan fests. I think last year we went overboard with 4 fan fests.
We had 4.
So this year we're going to go back and say we're not cutting it back, right? We're cutting back to have a mix of 50% of the year is fan fest, 50% of the year is not fan fest, but more like track days.
Track days.
So they will still run the race.
Yeah.
The Miata Cup was still there, but it's purely like focused on just racing.
Just racing.
Racing. Fan fest is for everybody.
Yeah.
That is Mazda. You have to be a Mazda owner to come to Fan Fest. It's not open to public. It's not that you will come in to see what those guys are doing. You are already, it's by invitation through the clubs. You could be the BT50, you could be the Mazda 3, you could be the Mazda 2, you could be the CX-5, you could be the CX-60. But you are welcome if you're a Mazda owner.
Right. People will say you're too exclusive. I mean, for the Miata Cup or even for the Miata Club, you need to own a Miata to be a part of that.
Yeah.
For this Fan Festa, you need to own a Mazda in order to be invited.
Yeah.
People will say it's too exclusive.
Good point. It is exclusive, right? Exclusivity is the point, not elitist. It's never elitist. It's never going to be, for the top part of the society. No, it doesn't. Mazda are not elitist. No, we have cars that are expensive. We have a CX-90 that is approaching $4 million. Over the last 10 years, the average cost of a Mazda has literally doubled, right? But it's not elitist,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's just that the quality, I would say, I'll accept premium.
Premium.
I'll accept
Premium,
premium,
yes.
right? I'll accept premium.
So you can have one Mazda and you'll still be invited.
You can be, yeah.
You can have the cheapest Mazda and you'll
and
still
you'll
be
still
invited.
be part of the community. So it does not discriminate, right? As long as a Mazda owner. But in the track, on the race day, and because we are a car company, and Mazda is a company that focus on driving, or we call it the joy of driving.
Yes.
So where is our home? The home is not on the road, although we drive, but the home of it is on the track.
Yeah.
Right? The entire day we start driving from 8, we don't finish until 5. Everybody gets to drive.
Yeah.
And in those races, we have Miata Cup. We also have another community that is the Manila Sports Car Club, which is the Spec Miata. So those are like the bookends. Miata Cup, Spec Miata. In between, we have BT50 or Mazda 3 or other that runs.
Yeah.
And the whole day is just filled with the joy of driving, and people get together, they exchange notes, they talk to each other, and it's the vibe is more like a Woodstock. You know?
Yeah.
It's more like Woodstock. Everybody's happy.
Everybody's
There's
happy.
a lot of happiness in there. They eat, they talk, they drink coffee.
Yeah, it's more like a rock concert more than anything.
Yeah. So the entry, the price of entry is ownership.
Ownership.
That's all.
Yeah.
That's the price of
So it is exclusive, but it is not elitist.
It is exclusive, not elitist. That's the way to describe it. You're right.
Yeah. So, okay, I'd like to go to a particular model of Miata. Of course, everybody knows this. Because worldwide, it is the most bought sports car. I mean, literally, in the world, it doesn't matter if we are talking about Ferraris or Maseratis or Lamborghinis or whatever fancy sports car you say. But every sports car enthusiast in the world will want a Miata. Why is that?
That formula is not a new formula, right? There was the British Roadster before, and then there was other Roadster. The formula is one that is enduring, affordable, sports car with the dynamic and the joy of driving one. And so you can drive it, and people say, there's some people who write stories about it. Right, one of my best friend who unfortunately passed away last year, Tom Matano, he will write like a story about that. I see my car, it's been publicized, and many share the stories. I want to, every night I have to go look at it or sit in it before I go to sleep. Every morning I come in, I like to see it, I like to drive it around, and it's a generation thing. My dad had one. But owning a Miata, call it a Miata or Roadster MX-5, the same thing, is a love story with a car.
I know of
Right.
not only 2, but 3 or 4 Filipinos who own those top exclusive, very expensive sports cars.
Yeah.
And when I talk to them, their favorite car is still their MX-5 or still their Miata. I don't understand that. I don't understand that
true.
point of view.
I would say the majority of sports car owner, whether it's Ferrari or Porsches or Lamborghini, chances are they have another sports car in the garage, and it's a Miata.
Yes, that's true.
Right?
That's true.
Right. So you can take sides, and funny, sometimes they talk about it and jab each other. You can take sides about whether you're a Ferrari person or a Porsche person, but the middle ground is always a Miata.
It's a Miata. They will have a Miata.
They will have a Miata in the garage.
In the garage. It doesn't matter how expensive all the other cars there.
They will
There's
have it.
going to be
Yes,
that
yes,
one.
That's one.
That one Miata
Yes,
sticking out there in
and
the middle.
And you ask them about the Miata, they say, yeah, I drive it the most, and they will say, then they will laugh about it, they will smile about it. And so the Miata is like this. If you look at it on the street, and people just like that, if you drive a really expensive sports car, and sometimes the issue will be that people will look at you and say, like, oh, you have so much money.
Yeah.
But when you drive Miata, they'll just love you. They'll just love you because it's that kind of a sports car.
It's like you drive those bigger ones, you drive the Ferraris, the Lamborghinis, the Maseratis, and it's like you're bragging when you drive it, right? When you drive a Miata, it's like you're in love with your car.
You can't brag about it because it's not that expensive.
Yeah, but it's a beautiful car.
Yeah, and it's a beautiful car. You can share it. It's not intimidating. It's approachable. So maybe the word is that it's approachable.
Well, sharing is something I have to go against because my dad never let me drive his Miata. He sold it without letting me drive it. So,
so I am very proud and I'm very lucky and I'm very privileged to be able to represent the Miata in the country of Philippines, right? I mean, what do you know? People say that, but do you feel like you are a country of 7,000 islands, right? And you have the largest population of Miata. That I don't get it. And the only explanation I can have is that we are also a culture of sports car lovers.
yes.
We love driving.
Yes.
So what if we can't drive like in California, and we don't have like very long roads of 600 kilometers? So what? We just love driving.
We just love to drive.
Right, even if you drive on the weekends.
Yes. Just the weekend.
If you just on the weekend.
Just hitting those expressways
Yeah.
for 2 hours.
We love driving. We love driving together. We like to drive together to go get the coffee. We like to go and get a meal. We just love driving and seeing each other.
Yeah, I mean,
So they see each other, like sports car people sometimes see each other like once a month or once a while. Miata club people see each other every week.
every week. They wake up at about 5 o'clock in the morning.
Every week, sometimes at night, sometimes a few times a week, and they just
drive
gather
around.
together. Yeah, it's almost like a religion.
Yeah. I think it's beginning to be one actually.
Yeah.
Now, you're gonna have your Fan Festa again this year.
Yes.
The Miata Cup is gonna be on its 25th year, if I'm
It's
correct.
on its 25th year.
So when are you gonna have it? How many times? Last year you had it 4 times. How many times are you gonna have it this year again?
Twice. The months are the same. We'll start in May. We end in November. And the cadence works. You know, we had May, July, September, and November. This year we'll have the bookends. May and November are the Fan Fest. In between, we go to Batangas Racing Circuit, and we still have the race.
Okay, you still have
But
to
the Fan Fest is the first one.
invite our Mazda owners. You have to be a
Yeah.
Mazda owner.
Go join one of the clubs. If you have a Mazda 2, go to Mazda 2. If you are a Mazda 3, you can go to Mazda 3, or you can go to Club Mazda PH. If you have the Miata Club Philippines, they meet every second Sunday in Mazda Makati. You know, get to know us or write to us, or if you show up there, they'll welcome you anyway. You apply to be a member if you like the group. Chances are you will like the group. It's a pretty big group now, but you know everybody's welcome.
Yeah, it's a community. It's now a community.
Yeah, it's a community. And if you have any questions about technical, if you have any question about the car, they are there to support you. They're there to help. They're there to help. If you want to, like, you feel lonely about driving, occasionally join them on the drive. They go out for coffee drive almost every Sunday. Like yesterday, we had a coffee drive.
Yeah. Okay, so thank you, Steven.
Sure.
It's great having you. Yeah, and if you guys remember Fan Festa, we'll be giving you the dates, and when it happens, we'll be covering it for you. We'll be coming up with the videos again anyway, so you stay tuned. This has been Executive Drive. We'll be seeing you soon with another guy, but this is the best guy I've got so far. So I'll see you guys.